Down with love, take 3. I'm not going to storm out of here, Catch, and I'm not going to admit that you got Barbara Novak to fall in love. Because I'm not Barbara Novak. There is no Barbara Novak. And I didn't fall in love with Zip Martin. I fell in love with Catcher Block. And that was over a year ago, when for 3.5 weeks I worked as your secretary. I don't expect you to remember me. I wasn't blonde then. But you did ask me out, and it broke my heart to say no. But I just couldn't bear to become another notch on your bedpost. And I knew with your dating habits that if I got a regular spot on your rotating schedule, I would never have your undivided attention long enough for you to fall in love with me. I knew I had to do something drastic. I knew I had to quit my job as your secretary. And I knew I had to write an international bestseller, controversial enough to get the attention of a New York publisher, but insignificant enough that as long as I went unseen, no magazine star reporter would refuse to do a cover story. I knew that every time we were supposed to meet, you would get distracted by one of your many girlfriends, and that would give me an excuse to get angry with you over the phone and declare that I would not meet with you in 100 years. And then all I'd have to do is be patient enough and wait the 2 or 3 weeks it would take for everyone in the world to buy a copy of my bestseller. And then I would begin to get the publicity that I wanted. For you to, 1, see what I look like, and 2, see me denounce you in public TV as the worst kind of man. I knew that this would make you angry, and you would want to write one of your exposés. And I knew in order to do that, you would have to go undercover, assume a false identity, and pretend to be the kind of man to make the kind of girl that I was pretending to be fall in love. And I knew since that I was pretending to be a girl that would have sex on the first date, that you would have to be the kind of man that wouldn't have sex for several dates. And in doing so, we would go on many dates to all the hot places and all the cool clubs, until finally one night you would take me back to your place that you were pretending wasn't your place, and you would seduce me, get me to say I love you. But saying I love you was also my plan. I just wanted you to tell you the truth so that when you heard me say I love you, you would know that I knew who you were, and you would know who I was. And then you, the great Catcher Block, would know that you have been beaten at your own game by me, your former secretary, Nancy Brown, and I would have once and for all set myself apart from all the other girls, you know, all those girls that you really never cared about, by making myself like the one person that you admired most, you. And then, when you realized you had finally met your match, I would have at last gained the respect that would make you want to marry me and seduce me later. I just want you to know all this from me before you heard it from your private eye. And that's my wrap up. The end.